Action! Alright, so this is my younger brother, Sean. Alright, now, Sean has been doing music therapy since 2008. So, Sean, what are some of your favorite instruments to play? Alright, come on and show us. So, we have an egg shaker. Alright, what else do you have? Some jingle bells. Alright, and what's the last one? And a tambourine, alright. So, Sean, do you like playing loud music or quiet music?
Loud.
Loud music, alright. And is music your favorite thing to do?
Yes.
Yes? Alright, thanks buddy, you can go sit down. Alright, now, Sean is a teenager, but music therapy has proven to be successful in the elderly with dementia. In a 2012 study, the International Journal of Alzheimer's Disease found that the use of music therapy reduced stress and restlessness in its patients at double the rate of regular therapy. As you can see here, this was doing therapy only, this was using music only, and this was using music therapy. Today I'll be talking about why music therapy should be a more widely accessible resource. And to do this, I will be discussing common myths and misconceptions about music therapy, how music positively affects the body and mind, and also a story about Sean's experience with music therapy on a time that he was in the hospital a few years ago. So, by the end of this speech, you'll have a better understanding of music therapy and why it is a critical resource to have. Alright, now that I have given you an overview of my main points, I would like to address some common misconceptions about music therapy. Now, first one, biggest one, is that music therapy is only for children. It is not. Music therapy can be from anyone from newborn all the way to the elderly and anyone in between. A second common misconception is that anyone teaching music can be called a music therapist. This is not true. To be a professional licensed music therapist, you need at least a bachelor's degree in music therapy. Some even use a master's in either music or psychology. And a third common misconception is that music therapists are the same as music teachers. They are not. So music therapists also will work on a client's behavioral, cognitive, and communication skills in order to effectively provide them therapy. Okay, now that I've cleared up some common misconceptions about music therapy, I'll tell you how music can positively affect the brain and the body. Alright, our lovely graph right here has plenty of facts. Some of the ones I would like to highlight is that since music can be used as a distractor, it can bring the client's attention away from a negative stimuli, such as the presence of current pain, and shift their attention to something more positive, the music. Another one is that different beats in music can stimulate brain waves that match those beats. So a slower, more calm beat can initiate a more meditative state of mind, and a faster beat can bring alertness and better concentration. Another thing that music can do is it can trigger the brain's release of dopamine, which will highly improve a client's current state of mind. Right, now that I've highlighted how music can affect the body and the mind, I'd like to share a specific story about Sean with music therapy. So, a couple years ago, Sean was in the hospital for 2 full weeks. Yes, all done. Yeah, you're good, buddy.
Yeah.
No more. Alright, and so the entire time he had very, very limited mobility, like barely walk outside of the bed, and just terrible pain the entire time. Between that and past medical trauma, it was as straining on his mind as it was his body. We reached out shortly after his admittance to the hospital to his current music therapist, and within a day, she came for a session for him to provide him some music therapy to help kind of calm him down, provide something a little more lighthearted amongst all the medical stuff. During the course of the visit, they had 2 other music therapists from her studio come in to provide him therapy. So he had 3 individual sessions, one with each of them over the course of those 2 weeks. And during the therapy, he was acting finally much more like his normal self. He had been very withdrawn and quiet the entire time. He's normally a chatty little guy, as you probably heard him in the background of my recording. And after the music therapy, it carried over into the rest of the visit. So he was actually talking and interacting with us, and as well as his heart rate and his blood pressure dropped. With all those things combined, it made it much easier to go through all of the medical things that he needed to do. Different tests, procedures, all of that. It just helped give everyone a bit of relaxation and a little bit of fun as well. So, now that you have heard my speech and I have shared a little story, how many of you are willing to consider contacting health insurance carriers so that they can cover music therapy as well as they would for normal types of therapy? If that's too much to ask, how many of you will simply carry on the knowledge that I have shared with you today about music therapy, just to spread the word about how much good it can provide for someone? Okay, thank you.